Coming your way on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, a lingering story in the lead up to training camp that has direct implications for the NFC West, and it, of course, impacts the San Francisco 49ers for 2023. Are the Los Angeles Rams really going to trade Aaron Donald? This is something that's out there in the trade universe. We're going to take a look at this, but first, all too early predictions for who wins this division in 2023. Is it going to be the Niners? Type SF. Is it going to be the Rams? Type LAR. Is it going to be the Cardinals? ARI, or the Seattle Seahawks, who I think pose the biggest test in this division to the Niners? Type SEA. So the latest on Aaron Donald. Let's set the foundation here. Michael Lombardi, former general manager, front office executive, started the Aaron Donald trade rumors while appearing on the Pat McAfree show. He's a very smart football mind, has tapped into some organizations, but also at moments, Michael Lombardi, some of his reports haven't necessarily hit the bullseye. Jason McIntyre, who is Colin Cowherd's co-host on The Herd, made a bold prediction for this year and said Aaron Donald will get traded. It wasn't a report, it was a bold prediction. And Donald, this is a significant story because, yes, he's probably on the back nine of his career. The age just backs that up, but he's arguably the best defensive tackle ever. As for what Michael Lombardi said about this, say the Rams start off slow and they're headed toward Caleb Williams in the draft. Do they trade Aaron Donald to a team at the trade deadline? Because he's truly their only asset. Now, also of note here, and obviously Donald getting traded would be ideal for the 49ers to avoid playing him because he is certainly a disruptor at defensive tackle. But also of note here, the Los Angeles Rams approached Matthew Stafford about redoing his contract. He refused. They're not happy with him, according to Colin Cowherd, who does have some sources inside that Rams organization. So could they trade away Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald? And could they be on this trajectory of losing to try to get Caleb Williams? If that's the case, could be very, very interesting. So this is going to be our pinned comment here. Yes, the Rams are a rival, but great respect's great, and Aaron Donald is a great player. Do you respect Aaron Donald's game and what he's been able to accomplish in his NFL career? R for respect, N for no. Sound off in the comment section. You look at what he's done over his last 4 years, he has been an outright dominant player, a force. And oftentimes, when you're playing defensive tackle, you don't accumulate a lot of sack numbers. That has not been the problem with him. He has the power move to slip by interior offensive linemen. He has speed to get by him. He has that strong upper body and really strong hands to throw offensive linemen to either side of him to open up an avenue in which he can get to the quarterback. And his sack numbers have been crazy. 12.5, 13.5, 12.5 from 2019 through 2021. And last year, the Rams were bad. He was shut down. Still tallied 5 sacks in 11 games, though. And forced fumbles, quarterback hits. A guy who can really take over the game. And when the Rams won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago, what happened late in that game? That Cincinnati Bengals offensive line was overpowered, overwhelmed, partially due to the dominance and physicality of Aaron Donald. The contract for him, as you look ahead, it's an expensive one because at the time, he signed the richest contract in the history of the NFL by a defensive player. And that still holds. It's going to hold until Nick Bosa gets his contract extension, which will beat him out with total money, guaranteed money, average annual value, in my opinion. The Rams, cap savings, if they deal him, $13.5 million. Receiving team cap hit, $13.5 million. Their 2024 cap savings, if they were to trade Donald, 5.6. The receiving 2024 team, the cap hit for that team, $21.5 million next year. So that's a lot of money. And then the dead cap space in 2025 would be $13.32 million. So obviously that information very important for a team that decides to potentially trade for Donald's services. Look, if any move like this happens that directly impacts the Niners, we're going to talk about it. Whenever the 49ers make a move, we're going to talk about it. We're about to ramp up our coverage here with training camp set to begin in just a few days on July 25th. And I can't wait to be going live multiple times per week, giving you all of the latest from the Niners. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Batman29, as we start taking your questions here at the $5 Super Chat. Hot take. Niners might have a worse record this year if Brock isn't the same as before, Trey doesn't improve, and Sam is Sam. Look, if you don't get consistent play at the quarterback position, oftentimes you really do struggle. And also, I'll say this. The Niners ended the season with the 10-game winning streak in the regular season and then a 12-game winning streak prior to the NFC Championship game. So to go 13-4 after starting, 3-4, that was a really impressive feat, and it's very difficult to do, to duplicate that success year in, year out, given the physicality of the NFL, injury attrition, lack of consistency in a league that changes dramatically, seemingly, every single year. So, yeah, if you don't get quarterback play that's solid, the Niners will have a drop-off, and either way, even if Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, or Sam Darnold does play good football, it's going to be difficult to win 13 games. Lyle, one of our real ones here on the show, a $20 Super Chat. Hey, Chase, can't wait for some Niners football. Quest for 6. Let's go Niners faithful. I'll tell you this. If the Niners get that 6th Super Bowl, we might be live all night on the 49ers Report. I'm not even kidding, because don't you want to party? If the Niners are on that quest for 6 and they get it, Lore, which rookie will impress you the most in training camp? Lore with a good question here, and I saw this coming even before we started our live show. As we go live every single Tuesday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. When the regular season comes around, we might go live Mondays and Thursdays because the success has been so great here on the show. Which rookie will impress you? I'm going to go with Jair Brown. He's not my number 1 ranked rookie heading into camp. I think that he's going to be able to earn playing time very, very early. And I think him and Darrell Luter Jr., 2 rookies who could see significant workloads in their first seasons. Harold, next up here on the show. Chase, blessings to everyone. Are you ready for Niners football? Are you kidding me? Cheers to some Niners football. San Francisco, let's go. If you're pumped up for the return of Niners football, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. When the preseason is here, you already know we're going to be doing some watch parties, and then for the regular season, we'll be live every single game. Ernesto, if Robbie Gould does come back to the Niners, if he doesn't go with another team, do you see him starting or backing up Moody? So here's the deal. You don't have 2 kickers on the 53. You only have 1. You don't occupy 2 roster spots for a kicker because other roster spots and other positions are way more important. If Jake Moody doesn't make this team, that is an absolute disaster because the Niners selected him in the 3rd round of the draft. And if your 3rd round kicker, which is a bold choice to take a kicker that early, and they said profoundly, he was by far our number 1 kicker in this draft. If he doesn't crack this team, that is a massive, massive issue. Joshua Updike, Purdy for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. That would be a hell of a season. I think that the Niners are going to run a little bit too much for him to have 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Let's say 3,200 yards and 23 touchdowns to like 7 picks. Because also factor in how often they're going to run the rock. Adam J., I'm concerned for week 1, TJ Watt versus a weak right tackle. TJ Watt against Colton McKivitz, it's not a battle that certainly favors San Francisco. Colton McKivitz, though, he's going to find out, and we're going to find out, what type of player he is prior to week 1. Why is that, Chase? Joint practices against the Las Vegas Raiders. Colton McKivitz is going to be going up against one of the best edge rushers in the game in Max Crosby. So if Colton McKivitz doesn't hold up in protection against Crosby, look out for TJ Watt and the Steelers to load that left side of the defensive line, the right side of the offensive line come week 1 to try to generate a great pass rush. 49er Jeff, what's good, Brody? I love the profile picture here. Repping the squad with the 4-9 jersey, some bling bling. Let's go. Who leads the Niners in passing yards? Look, if Brock Purdy is healthy, I think that Brock Purdy is going to be the team starter, and I think he's going to handle the workload, and I think that he's going to lead the team in passing yards. I think that Trey Lance can be a good player. I think that Trey Lance has a lot of potential, but when Purdy plays the way that he did as a rookie, he has the inside track at this job, and if he's healthy, the Niners are going to give him ample opportunities. Lore, which rookie is going to be a bust? It's way too early to say. And I don't really want to say which rookie's going to bust before they even hit the field yet. If Jake Moody doesn't make the team, he'll go down as a massive, massive bust. That I do know. Greg Smith, hey, Chase, the people's tight end, running back, Christian McCaffrey. Let's go 49ers. So you're saying George Kittle, the people's tight end? He really is. And Christian McCaffrey, he's a really popular player around this league. When he was on Super Bowl Radio Row and we interviewed him, he always had a large following. Everybody was turning heads. What he did at Stanford, obviously, was a terrific college career. What he's done at the NFL level when healthy, he's been tremendous. I mean, a 2-time All-Pro, 1-time first team, another time second team. And last year, after that trade to San Francisco, he changed the entire complexion of the offense. That is the rare instance in which investing in a running back actually worked. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, they didn't come to agreements on those long-term deals, and everybody is complaining about the running back market and how the position has been devalued. It has been devalued for sure, but not when you can catch the ball out of the slot, out of the backfield, run it, and be an overall weapon, not just single-handedly a running back within an offense. 49ers training camp set to get underway July 25th, just a few days from now. Rookies already reported in addition to quarterbacks July 18th. Cannot wait for it, and that's why you subscribe to the show, because we're going to be ramping up our coverage. If you want to become a smarter Niners fan, join the faithful family here at Chat Sports.